Hey guys, welcome to my review for the Arrancar arc in Bleach. It has been a really long time since my last Bleach video when I reviewed Soul Society way back when. Now if you are new, I don't treat my story arc reviews the same as my full series reviews. Basically, I just talk about them. There's no real structure. I just talk about the things I like, the things I didn't like, and it will be filled with spoilers. So if you have not caught up to at least volume 48 of Bleach, then yeah, don't watch this video. So if you want to hear my thoughts on the Soul Society arc, you can check that video out. But to make a long story short, I friggin' loved it. I thought it was one of the best story arcs I've ever read in a shonen manga. It was fantastic. So I was really excited to read the Arrancar arc. Now that I'm done, well, overall, I really enjoyed it. However, there were certain things about it that I didn't really enjoy. So that's what I'm going to talk about today in this video. So I'm basically just going to walk you through everything that happened and I'll give you my thoughts on it. So this arc is really divided into three main parts. There's the part where the Arrancars first invade Ichigo's town, which name I can't friggin' remember. There's the part where they go to Hueco Mundo, the Arrancar's dimension, to rescue Orihime. And then there is the final battle part where all of the Espadas come and try to break into the world of the living and all the Soul Reapers have to stop them. So it starts off, and to be honest, I feel like the beginning of this arc was really rushed. I mean, like within the span of one volume after Soul Society ended, we have these new hollow dudes who want Ichigo to join them. We have the Arrancars invading. We have Rukia and all the other Soul Reapers returning to the world of the living, and Ichigo's dad is a Soul Reaper. Like, all in one volume almost. Pretty crazy stuff. I kind of wish we had gotten to see, you know, maybe another volume of two of Ichigo, you know, just settling down, getting used to his normal life again, because we don't really get to see any of that. Also, the thing with Ichigo's dad being a Soul Reaper, I think it makes sense, and I like it. However, I feel like this would have been a lot cooler if they had revealed it at the end of the arc when Ichigo's dad saves him. So you've already known for all this time that he was a Soul Reaper, and I feel like if he had just shown up there and that was the first time we saw him as a Soul Reaper, that would have been crazy. But yeah, that's not how they did it. Anyway, but the rest of this part of the arc, I really enjoyed. You know, you had the Arrancars coming in, all these new enemies, and the Soul Reapers getting their butts kicked because they have no idea how to fight these guys. And yeah, they all had to do some training, you know, get stronger. It was all really awesome. And then Orihime gets kidnapped because apparently she has like these super crazy healing powers. Like, really crazy healing powers, which I will talk about in a bit. But yeah, so she gets kidnapped, she confesses her love to Ichigo, I mean not to him while he was like asleep, and then, so yeah, they pretty much kidnap her. She goes into Hueco Mundo, where Aizen and them are, because Aizen, he got all them evil plans, you know. I'm not going to go into much detail about every story thing, because I'm just assuming that you've already read this if you're watching. So then here's the thing with the Hueco Mundo part. You got one of Ichigo's friends gets kidnapped by the bad guys, and she's trapped in another dimension. So now Ichigo has got to team up with all his other powerful friends, go into this new dimension, and fight a bunch of people in order to get to her. Does this sound a bit familiar? Here's the thing, Soul Society was an amazing rescue arc. So why did you need to do another one? I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it just feels like the same thing. I mean, if you wanted to do another rescue arc, make it a little bit different. Sort of like how in One Piece you have the Enies Lobby, which is a prison break-in arc, and then maybe like 10 volumes later you have Impel Down, which is also a prison break-in arc, but they're very different types of arcs, and these two, honestly, they felt very similar. But hey, like I said at the last part, it was still really enjoyable seeing all of the fight scenes. I really liked Nell, her character. That was pretty awesome. She was pretty awesome. I really liked the fight that Rukia had with that dude who was pretending to be Kai and Shiba. That was pretty crazy. For like a minute, he had me fooled. I'm like, is this actually Shiba? That would be a bit crazy. So then Aizen and all the other Espadas want to make their move on the world of the living, so they head off. They create like a fake version of Ichigo's town that they can fight over, and yeah, then a bunch of battles happen. Ichigo's still in Hueco Mundo. He fights with Grimyo. I think that's how you say his name, I don't friggin' know. And every time those guys fought, that was awesome. I friggin' love their fights. They fight, I think, 3 times before Ichigo's able to defeat them. That was awesome. And then he fights with Ulquiorra, who was like a really badass villain. He was just ruthless, and I really, really enjoyed their fight. So then we go back to the sort of world of the living, because everything's like fake, and then a crap ton of fighting goes on. Like pretty much every Soul Reaper we've been introduced so far fights with every single espada. Now here's the thing. The fight scenes were indeed very awesome. I freaking love the artwork and the fighting in Bleach. I have like no problems with the artwork. I think it is fantastic. But you see, a lot of these characters, these Soul Reapers, we like know nothing about. I mean, some of them we do, and that's awesome. But a lot of these Soul Reapers, I couldn't even remember their name. Okay, I could barely remember who these guys were, and here they are fighting and all the stuff you're supposed to care about them, all the things that are happening to them, and I just really don't. Which kind of took me out of it for a little bit. Unfortunately, same thing with some of the espadas. Some of them were built up from the beginning, and some of them sort of just show up to be powerful enemies for the Soul Reapers to kill. And another thing, the fake outs in this arc, like the death fake outs, were pretty bad. Like, they were pretty bad. You know how in Dragon Ball, yeah, there's a lot of death fake outs, you know, oh, we can just wish them back with the Dragon Ball, oh, they'll be healed. This was much worse than that. Like, much worse. There were so many times during a battle where an enemy is about to do a final blow, and they get saved at the last second. Honestly, there's a fight scene early on in this arc where that happens like 4 times in the same battle. It's actually ridiculous. And I mean, it's cool every now and then, but when it's happened so freaking often, like almost every time a character makes a comeback in this arc, it's them saving someone at the last second in battle. It got a bit ridiculous. Another thing with the death fake outs, Orihime's healing abilities become so powerful that she can basically revive the dead. But Rukia at one point pretty much dies. She gets like stabbed right through or whatever, and she pretty much dead. Orihime just heals her. Orihime pretty much can heal anything now. So yeah, that was a thing. Not only did I not care about a lot of these characters that were fighting, I really didn't care because I knew they probably weren't going to die. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think there's like a single good guy who actually dies in this arc. There may be some, but I really can't think of any. Another annoying thing is that when Ichigo's about to fight Ulquiorra, their final battle, it was super hype. I was really excited to look forward to it, and once we finally got to it, it was awesome, but we had to wait like 2 volumes or something of these other people I didn't care about fighting. Like, why did I have to read that instead of going straight to the Ichigo fight? I could have skipped to the Ichigo fight, and I probably would have missed nothing. But anyway, once a bunch of the minor characters finish their fights, you're down to the big guys, you know, the Soul Reapers that you love, you know, Toshiro and all those awesome guys, and they're having their final fights with, you know, Ichimaru and Aizen and Tosen, whatever his name was, you know, that was some awesome stuff. I friggin' love that Ichigo has to come back. He has to face his Zanpakuto Togen Zangetsu to unlock its final form. His father helps him do this, which was just super awesome. And it turns out Ichimaru's plan was to kill Aizen all along. Doesn't work out at all. I was honestly a bit disappointed with that. I think it would have been really cool if Ichimaru turns on Aizen and then he ends up being the final boss of this arc. Because, you know, Ichimaru is such an evil and manipulative character. I figured that he would have this super crazy plan, like he was the one pulling all the strings, not Aizen. So he turns around, he like stabs Aizen, he's like, yes, you're screwed now because I implanted something in your heart, and he's like, nope. And there goes Ichimaru. So, yeah, that was that. Bit disappointed with how his character ended, but, you know, the final fight with Aizen was pretty amazing. So Ichigo uses up the remainder of his Soul Reaper powers to defeat Aizen. It was super awesome. Then Aizen gets captured and is sentenced to 20,000 years in prison. So with his powers fading, he says goodbye to Rukia, and then the arc ends. So that was the Arrancar arc. A bit disappointed, just considering how amazing Soul Society was, but it was still very entertaining. You know, some of the flaws I was able to look over just because of how good the art was. And I'm just really attached to a lot of these characters, and it was really great to see them. So that was that, and next up, we have the Fullbring arc of Bleach. Now, apparently this one's only a few, like maybe 5 or 6 volumes long, so you may not have to wait that much longer for my review on it. I'm not particularly looking forward to it though, because apparently There's a reason that that arc is very short. But anyway, with that, thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts about this Bleach arc below. If there was something I didn't mention, because this arc is huge, if there's something I didn't mention you want to hear my opinion of, you can leave it below in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.